Welcome to Ever After, a Once Upon a Time podcast, Season 1, Episode 13. What happened to Frederick?
What happened to Fred?
I am your host, Molly Southgate, and with me is...
Martha Southgate.
Oh, I thought I had to be quiet. And Rob Southgate.
David decides to tell Catherine about his relationship with Mary Margaret. Meanwhile,
Oh yeah, you love when it says meanwhile.
Prince Charming agrees to help Abigail with a dangerous mission.
Okay, I think this is actually incorrect. David doesn't decide to tell Catherine about his relationship with Mary Margaret.
No, that's kind of the whole point of the story.
Mary Margaret decides that it's time for him to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not really accurate.
Well, I
Mary
think
Margaret was a little better, because you want to know why?
I do want to know why.
Because she decided, she's like, okay, you're going to do this, but then he was lying to everybody and stuff.
Yes. Well, I think that we didn't see the resolution of that story in any way.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know
think
what's
we're
going on.
going to see the resolution for a while. I think this is going to be a mess.
You think so?
I think nothing good ever comes from that
Yes.
deception,
Yes.
that type of behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And he could have done a lot of things to head this off at the pass before
Right.
it ever got to this point.
Right.
And
And he kept saying he was doing it to not hurt
it's impossible.
anybody, but he was in the end he was hurting everybody.
Well, and Mary Margaret said, we.
Although, wait a minute, she isn't innocent.
I just
either.
said, I was just trying to say that. She was implying like Catherine should have been the only one who was hurt. Now, look, we're all hurting. She says that at one point. Really?
Right.
You guys are supposed to come out of this just
We're
fine?
supposed to be okay.
But just Catherine was supposed to get hurt. Now, look, we're all suffering.
Yeah, way to go,
I didn't think that was very cool of Mary Margaret. I haven't been a fan of that particular storyline, but I understand that it was necessary. But
correct.
But I'm glad that it's finally out in the open and it's all been exposed, and now we can move on and figure out how they're going to
how it's going to get resolved.
Yeah.
Sure.
So Prince Charming runs away.
Yep. On his wedding day.
Right.
That rhymes. He runs away on his wedding day.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be marrying Abigail, right?
Yep.
And who is Catherine in Storybrooke.
Yes, Catherine.
And his dad is none too happy.
Dad.
Yeah, his pseudo-dad is none too happy that he's not there.
Is Fleming Marie this nun? Is she
not
nun?
that kind of nun.
Right. And we see David escaping. I thought that was crazy because they were shooting arrows at him.
Yeah.
If you're trying to bring him back, what are you doing shooting big crossbow bolts at him?
Yeah, they're trying to kill him.
Yeah.
And
that's what the father wants.
Yeah.
Dead or alive.
What did Princess Abigail do?
Oh, she helped him, but on one condition. Well, not really. Well, she said, okay, you go on this dangerous mission. He brought the water. Then they saved her prince, and the happily ever after the end.
Well, that was a quick. Thanks for listening to the podcast, everybody.
Well, what I liked about when he had first escaped, he was running away, and he thought that he was safe, and he turned around and he got captured.
He gets captured,
but it's her, and she says,
it wasn't the guys that were chasing him.
No,
it was other guys,
people.
which were hers.
And I like that she said, "I'm here to help you escape." She said, "I don't want to marry you either." And I loved that line.
Right. Well, and she was saying, "This isn't true love. I had true love, and I know the difference."
No, he said that.
No, he said that when he was David, right?
No, wait, no. Dad.
You guys are getting
Dad.
I'm getting all mixed up here.
Dad, he said, I'm the one holding the eye right now. Remember our last episode? I'm the one holding the eye
Okay,
right
so
now.
you've got the knowledge. Go ahead.
Okay, he said that when the siren.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah, because he said, "I can tell the difference."
Right. But didn't he say that also to...
Never.
Or she said it, something? I don't know.
But it doesn't matter. So she shows him the gold knight.
Yeah.
who was in the gazebo thing.
Right, which we saw in the intro.
Yeah.
We saw the gold knight standing in the
And
gazebo.
King Midas accidentally turned him to gold.
Yeah.
And
Accidentally.
But David, Prince Charming said, "Oh, there's magic water.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to go there and get it for you.
Right.
And maybe you
this
can
was good too,
salvage
because she
your
says,
true love."
right.
He lost Snow White.
Right. She says, well, that would be tragic for everybody. He's like, no, everybody wins either way. Because if I fail, or if I succeed, you get the water, you get Frederick back.
Mm-hmm.
If I fail, I die and I get my happy ending. Because I don't want to live like this.
Right.
So very interesting.
What did you think when he got to the water? What did you think you were going to see?
I was like, is it going to be Nyx? Is it going to be Nyx?
Well, yeah, Nyx is
from Wonderland.
In Wonderland, which none of that's happened by this point. But
I didn't want to see any creepy stuff, so
Nyx was very creepy.
I made Mom and Dad look and tell me if it got creepy.
Right, but this one wasn't creepy. This didn't look like Nyx.
She was beautiful, wasn't she?
Yes,
and sparkly.
Yeah.
She was all sparkly.
And I love when
I was Snow White, she looked really pretty.
When Prince Charming called her out, though, he said, "You're a siren.
Yes.
I know what you are. You're just here to tempt me."
Uh-huh.
And then she turned into Snow White. And she kissed him,
still
and what
had
did he
to
say?
That's where he said, "This isn't true love. I felt it."
Right.
Yeah. And she said, "Well, that's a first."
Yeah. And then she dragged him down to the bottom of the lake.
Tried to drown him with all the other bodies.
Yeah. And what did he do when they got down there?
He killed her.
Yeah.
What did you want him to do?
Huh?
You yelled out.
Hot dog party?
No, when she was doing that, when she was kissing him, and Molly yelled out. So go ahead. You can say it.
Kick her in the private.
Kick her in the private?
She yelled out, kick her in the privates. I said, Molly, and she goes, well, that's what would be effective here. He needs to stop her. And,
very true.
But instead, she dragged him down to the bottom, and the plants started to wind around him. But he somehow...
And he had already dropped his sword.
Yeah, but he somehow managed to get it.
No, he didn't get his sword. There was another knife that was down there.
Yeah.
Oh,
and he grabbed that knife.
That's why I thought it was his that
and
fell.
when she went to kiss him again,
he stabbed her. And I liked how the blood started to go. But then when they cut to the scene with David washing off the red paint on the car, you saw the same image.
Kind
it
of
was that red water
getting smeared. Yeah, that was really
so
clever.
very interesting imagery there.
So then he brings the water back to Abigail, and she pours it on the gold knight.
Yeah.
And Frederick's dead under there. No! And what happened? He's alive.
Yeah.
Now, have we seen Frederick before?
We have seen Frederick, but only in this episode.
Right.
And
he may have been a background player.
And you know
before,
what? I didn't spot him. You guys spotted him.
Yeah,
who was he?
He was the coach. He was the coach guy?
He's the soccer coach.
Yeah.
We
that
saw
Catherine
him
ran into in the school.
Right. When she went to confront Mary Margaret, they showed a guy walking down the hallway, and you saw the soccer balls, and Catherine walked right into him. Right.
Yeah.
And he kind of looked at her, and...
It's like, hey!
Yeah. And when that happened, I don't know if you noticed it, but I was thinking, like, why is he lingering? He was kind of looking at her as he walked out. Well, it's because they're connected. That's his true love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she was so mad she didn't even notice. Why would she be thinking that? But I have a feeling we're going to see them connected now.
Well, we saw it when he saved her in the end.
Oh, he didn't save her.
He didn't save her. She wasn't in there.
Spoiler, she wasn't there.
He kind of saw it. I bet he knew that she was out there and he was trying to follow her.
Right. Could be.
I don't know.
So there we go. That wraps up the fairy tale end. Right?
Well,
yeah.
Catherine gets accepted to law school in Boston. And she wants David to go with her.
Boston, of all the places. It could have been Storybrooke. Come on, why did it have to be
because
Boston?
She was trying to leave Storybrooke so they could start their life new. That's why, Molly.
And then,
that's evil. That's why it's evil.
Yeah.
But David tells her that he's not going.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and he had talked to Mary Margaret about it and she kept saying, you need to tell the truth. This is not right. And he was like, I need
Well,
to.
now she figures out it's not right.
Yeah, right. So then he goes and he tells her, I can't go with you.
He doesn't
tell her the truth.
Nope, he didn't tell her why. So
she was giving him every opportunity. She's like, just tell me. And,
she's a very nice person.
Right.
And she's rational.
Well, in other episodes, they kind of painted her like she might not be, but here we finally see who she is.
Yeah,
well,
she's very nice.
There's a really funny scene between Mary Margaret and Emma. When Mary Margaret tells Emma...
Wait, no. She said to her... Emma said, well, I'm not your mother. Yeah. And then, guess what? Then Mary Margaret said, does that make me yours?
No, she didn't.
Oh, fail.
Epic fail, Molly Grace. Why? She says, well, first of all, Mary Margaret is admitting to Emma that she and David have been seeing each other. And Emma says, yeah, duh, I know that. And she's, well, how did you know? I've been discreet. No, they haven't been. And so she starts rattling off all the different things that she's been telling, giving it away. Yeah. But Mary Margaret says, why didn't you say anything? And Emma said, I'm not your mother.
Right.
And Mary Margaret looks at her and kind of smiles and says, apparently I am yours.
Well, that's because
apparently I am yours, so that was
because
very
she knows
funny.
That she's supposed to be
Snow White.
Yeah, that was
so that funny. Was a fantastic scene.
Because she's Snow White, and then...
Now, I thought there were two people sitting at the counter right next to him. I know it wasn't, but I thought it was David and Catherine, because it looked like them. Oh. And I thought,
that would have been awkward.
How are they having this conversation? It wasn't them. Mm-hmm. So I was suckered in, and that was not the case.
Why were you suckered? What were you suckered in with?
Because she had the blonde hair, and it was kind of curly, and it was up, and he kind of had David's hair, and I thought, so they're sitting here, and Mary Margaret's having this conversation, but because she even glanced at him at one point, but that was ridiculous. Right. It wasn't. So I thought that was kind of funny, though.
They had the conversation.
She had the conversation with Mary Margaret there.
I know, but they had it at the house.
No, she's saying Catherine and David
Catherine
wouldn't have been there.
Yeah, right.
So the other scene from that is Regina and Catherine. Catherine walks in crying and upset, and Regina says, oh, that homewrecker. And
oh my gosh,
she's the one who tells her that they'd been having an affair.
Yes.
So Catherine says, why didn't you tell me? And Regina says, because I wanted you to work it out. And she said, believe me, I want you two together. Because it's going to screw up all of Regina's plans if they break up.
The pictures of Mary Margaret and David. It's like, oh my
horrible.
Gosh. She's like, well, Sidney was, he's always digging up dirt, so he gave me these pictures. It's like, please. This guy's going around town like doing this? No. Very obviously.
She's doing it.
She was, So then Catherine leaves there, and she's mad, and that's when she goes to Mary Margaret's school.
And slaps her on the face.
Yes, she did.
On the cheek.
And she publicly...
Oh, and she had every right to.
Created a very big scene.
Right.
Yes.
And... So, but later on, you see Mary Margaret, and she's a total outcast in town. No one will look at her.
Wasn't that Granny? Even Granny.
Even Granny looked at her and said something. You should be ashamed.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah. And she should, because they really mishandled it.
They did.
If he had feelings for her, they should have dealt with it before.
You're right. But at this point, this moment, did she actually know that it was mishandled? Had she already been told that?
She knew what they were doing was wrong.
No. I mean, but did she know that David had not said anything? Like, was she confused why everyone was reacting that way to her? Or did she already find out at this point?
Yeah.
Somebody had already told her. Okay, I couldn't remember.
There's no way she didn't know. The woman came in and yelled at her in the middle of the school, so she knew everybody. It went through town.
That's right. I got a little confused.
That's weird.
I just took a little nap.
You took a mini nap. Even a mini nap we could not do.
So... Interesting, we got to see Regina use the big key ring with all the storybook keys on it.
Well, this time I had a name for the key ring.
I know where it is.
It's a skeleton key. Thank you.
I don't get that.
I do. But what about it, Mel? What were you going to say?
Oh, well, I have a new theory about it.
Okay.
I think it opens up all of Storybook stores, all of their doors, and all of the magical world's doors. Mm-hmm. So it opens
I
up
have a feeling you're right.
every door.
When they have that skull on there, and that's actually what a skeleton key does, Molly.
What?
It can open any door. It's like hotels might have a skeleton key, which is one key that can open every room. Even though every room has its own key for that, you can only use one key on that room. Yeah. The skeleton key can get into all of them. But this is a key ring of skeleton keys, so she can go back and forth between all the different places with that.
So she entered Catherine and David's house, and she took the letter that Catherine wrote to David because she told Regina, I forgive them. I want them to be together. Right. I want someone to love me the way that he loves her. And I'm going to go find it. I'm going to Boston. Right. I'm going to live my life. I want them to be together and be happy. Oh, Regina doesn't want that.
Nope.
Yeah.
So what did Regina do with the letter?
Oh, this part's hysterical. When Mom said, oh, yeah, she's going to have a major... She burned it. She's like, heh, heh, heh. And Mom's like, oh, yeah, she's going to have a major fire. She threw it into the fire.
I figured it was going to set off the smoke alarm and make the sprinkler system turn on. And
but she just threw it right into her fireplace.
Yeah. How is that bad? How is that?
Well, it would be terrible if she lit a fire and then all of a sudden the sprinkler system went off.
Because it would soak the whole room.
Right.
It happens.
It happens.
We don't have a sprinkler system.
There is one storyline that we haven't talked about yet.
Is it the one with Spider-Man?
How about talking about the writer?
Yes.
We found out his name.
Yes, August, which I think is kind of a weird name.
August W. Booth.
Yep.
And I love that they're going to go on a date.
Yeah.
And she says...
Well, this is the date that he made the deal with her before with Emma.
Yeah, that she'll have a drink with him.
Right.
But she says, I need to know your name, just in case you're married or stored body parts in your freezer. I love that part.
I don't know if having his name would prevent that, though.
No, she would be able to look him up. If he's if he's hiding his name, she can't do a background check.
Right, I know. So he gives his name, and it's August and everything after.
August W. Booth.
I was wrong.
W.
And the W stands for?
Wayne.
Wayne, yes. So, he has the book, as we know from the last episode.
Yeah.
And he was doing some kind of weird thing.
He was doing one of two things. He was either just making copies of it, which seems kind of weird that he did it that way, where he was putting it in the water and then hanging it. No, you know what?
What?
It wasn't that he was making photocopies. He was taking actual photos of it. What you were seeing was him drying the photographs of the actual pages.
Perhaps.
No, that's what it was.
And then
I'm positive of
it.
Yes, and then he was binding it, making his
own. Because he was doing it
but it was more than
in a dark room.
Right, it was more than a photocopy. He was taking actual pictures of it to create an exact replica. That's what he was doing. Because the other thing I was thinking he might be doing is faking it, making a new one, altering the story slightly to kind of take Henry off the case a little bit.
What? No, he was on the case with Henry.
Right. But now I'm thinking that was actual because the chemicals
that's why he's like smart kid.
Right.
He's on the case with Henry.
Right. Yes. The chemicals in that he was using, that looked like photograph equipment. So I have a feeling that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
He was making an actual photograph copy of everything in that book.
So he restored the book, or he made a second book.
He made a second book.
And he has the real book?
He gave the book. He hid the book under Emma's car in the box.
In the box, so it was safe from the water.
He told this fable to her about the well that he took her to.
Right.
The date thing.
And that was very much
a funny line.
That was very much the story we were seeing from Fairy Tale Land too, where you find something you've lost. Oh, and then she had the water, and right after it, she found the box.
Yes, that's why.
But that was a setup by him.
So he says when he went to pick her up for the date, she had to ride on his motorcycle, and she was like, no, I'll drive us. But he wouldn't hear of it, would he?
I would not use a motorcycle.
Yeah.
That's like all three of us. We would not go on the motorcycle.
No. I'd be too scared. So he says, I know a watering hole, which is another word for a bar. And so she thought he was taking her to a bar. And he actually takes her to a well. A watering hole.
And she's like, I thought you were, going to take me to wine or something. He's like, next time. I always keep my word.
Yeah, right.
So he told her the whole story about the...
Well, and she's like, how did you know all that? And he said, I read the plaque.
Yeah, and there was a plaque just sitting there with the whole story laid out. That was hilarious.
And she looked over and was like, oh yeah.
So then Emma got the book and she gave it back to Henry.
Well, first they drank the water.
They drank the water, then she found the book. Mm-hmm. But then she gave it back to Henry, and he was so happy to have that book back. Yeah. He goes, Operation Cobra is back on.
Yes.
Hilarious.
I have missed Operation Cobra.
Yes.
Operation Cobra!
Henry gets a gift from Regina, and she says, please don't hate me for tearing down your playground. I was doing it to say, for your safety. And she gives him a video game.
That's the gift that keeps on giving. I like that gift.
Yeah.
And
I like that.
He says, that's all fine and good, but I want Emma back.
Right.
And so we'll see now.
Did he sing the song? I didn't catch it. I want my Emma back, Emma back, Emma back.
He did not.
What is that song?
So anyway, there you go. I think that this was a really great storyline that's going to really propel all the different stories.
Well, and that's the thing about this show is a lot of shows will have Monster of the Week and then mythology arcs. This one, even when they have kind of a Monster of the Week, it's all tied so closely to the mythology of the show that there hasn't been a week yet that didn't propel things forward. Now,
this one more than normal though, because you've got.
Well, this one propelled certain elements of it really strong, but we didn't even see Mr. Gold.
No. But I'm telling. But in terms of,
that's because he was put in jail.
The Prince Charming and Abigail and Snow White storyline. Then you've got Henry gets his book back, and we kind of and
Stella got her group back, which is so similar.
And then you've got the we've got the new character Abigail's Frederick.
Now, who are they? Anyone have any ideas? I mean, if they're fairy tale characters, do you think they're just a prince and princess from fairy tale land?
Prince and princess.
Or do you think that they are two characters that we're going to find out who they are?
That is the biggest freaking word you're saying. Do you remember what you're
I was asking if we had any idea who they might be.
Prince and princess.
I don't know. I think that they
well, she's the daughter of King Midas.
Right.
Daughter.
I wonder if there's a story there that we're unaware of. I know we know the story of King Midas.
That was in Percy Jackson?
Yes, he has a son and a daughter.
Was her name Abigail?
I don't know.
Well, you need to research that and come back next time and tell us.
Next time on Ever After, Molly will tell us about Abigail. But he has a son, too? Ooh, maybe we'll find out who the son is if that's the right story. Mm-hmm. That'd be exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So is that it? Did we cover this whole story?
So what we're waiting to see, what we want to see next week, is what happens to Catherine because she's missing.
Yeah,
because no one can leave.
Right. Because all we saw was the car with the airbag deployed,
which happens every time someone tries to leave Storybrooke.
The soccer coach found it, and that was it.
Yep. So we've got to find out where's Catherine. We need to find out that Prince Charming finds Snow White because he's looking for her, and then we need to find out what happens with Mary Margaret and David.
There's got to be some kind of resolution there at some point.
And
spoiler alert: next episode called Dreaming.
Okay, shh.
You know already.
We'll get to it. And then we also need to find out about what's his name, Wayne.
Yeah, no, August.
Yeah. Because we're getting just very tiny glimpses about August. I want to know what he's doing and what's up.
Yeah.
So we're assuming he's one of the Brothers Grimm.
Yeah.
That was me making that assumption, so nobody put any stock into that.
No, but that's kind of what we're, at this point.
We're saying as a writer, and it would make sense if he's trying to write the story. Maybe he got sucked in when they did this, and he's like, okay, I can rewrite this story. I can figure this out. Could be.
So next week is going to be, the next episode is going to be very...
Yeah, I'm excited.
Important for us.
I bet the Brothers Grimm wrote Henry's book.
Could be. Okay.
Oh, no!
Yeah.
August wrote Henry's book, and then he got the book, and now August is making photocopies because he forgot how he made it.
Right. Oh, that could be, too. Maybe he needs to be able to read it in private to get everything back into his head. But he knows that there's something bleeding through here.
I don't know.
So many possibilities.
Well, let's wrap it up.
All right. So you can find past episodes of this and our other shows. We have lots of other shows on our network at
www. Did I do too many W's?
No.
www.southgatemediagroup.com.
Yeah, I would just go with those last 3 W's.
Confusing.
There was a lot of W's.
And an at in there?
Yeah, and then an at, and I think there might have been a Q and an eyeball. It was very strange.
What?
So, okay. You can also follow us on Twitter. My Twitter is rsouthgate. We also have one for the network, which is at SMGPods. And Martha's the one that handles that one more than anybody. So if you want to communicate with her or I, that's how you do it. You can find us on Tumblr. Our Tumblr page is Southgate Media Group. And we even have that tagged with Once Upon a Time. So there's lots of Once Upon a Time and all sorts of other stuff on there. Doctor Who and Walking Dead, very appropriate for the kids. And,
no, it isn't.
And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Appropriate for kids.
Yep, you like that one.
And I'm 7!
Yeah. And find us on Facebook. We've got pages there also. You can look up Southgate Media Group or Once Upon a Time Ever After, or Ever After Once Upon a Time. I don't know what it says. Go to the Southgate Media Group page and you'll find it through that. And find us on iTunes, find us on Stitcher, rate us, review us. It really helps other people find this. Man, next up is episode 14. We are barreling through the first season of this show.
And there's only 22.
I know. I can't wait to get through this season.
Then we have to do 22 more, then 22 more, then
and
22
then,
more.
No, there's only 3 seasons so far.
I know.
So, that's it. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. Let's end this the way every great fairy tale ends.
Happily ever after.
The end. If you would like to donate to help pay for this and other Southgate Media Group podcasts, simply go to our website, southgatemediagroup.com, and click on the donate button. It can be as little as $1 or, well, as much as you want. Help keep this fun going by supporting this and our other shows. Thanks again for listening, everyone. You're the best fans in the world.